All right, everyone. So for my tool project, I chose Sansar, which is a virtual reality hangout app where you can go in as a content creator and create a bunch of different things, um, from chat rooms to live mic nights to like virtual ping pong and all kinds of different stuff with outlets to watch live events, things like that. So let's get right into it. These are the two sources I used for the little bit of information that I could find. The company is rather small right now, so there's not a whole lot to it. All right, so what is Sansar? Sansar, as I said, hosts a variety of chat rooms. So, for example, I'm big into esports, big into games, so there's a lot of interesting chat rooms for that. I know that Fnatic hosts one, which Fnatic is an esports team based in Europe. They have tons of different teams on across a bunch of different games that do professional gaming. So that's always fun to watch because we can go into those chat rooms and watch the live events. Like I know the League of Legends World Series is going on right now, so the World's Championship is on, and they're in the final stages. So that will be premiering pretty soon, which will be interesting to watch. Um, the company started in 2017 in July, so it hasn't been around too long. There hasn't been a huge marketing campaign for it currently, but they do allow content creation from anyone. So you can get on there, start your own chat room, go in, invite whoever you want. They can hang out, talk, see what's going on. You can set up like ping pong tables, as I said, and play virtual ping pong, that kind of thing. It's really interesting to use. We actually have a VR headset at the house, so I got to try it out firsthand, and it's pretty crazy, honestly. And virtual reality in general, the technology has gotten pretty crazy, so it's really interesting to watch. Um, about daily, they have about 10 to 50 people use the app, which is a pretty low number when you look at it compared to a lot of video games. But with it just starting and virtual reality really not having taken off in the market yet, because it is quite expensive to have one. I know ours costs like $600 something for the whole setup with the headset and everything. So it is a little hard for people to afford right now, but in the future, I think it will be much better off with that. So that's a little bit about Sansar and how they're set up and everything like that. Now, why should you check out Sansar? Sansar, to me, and virtual reality to me, is a huge future in the world. I know it sounds funny, but have anybody that's seen Ready Player One has seen kind of how that worked out? And it's insane the way that things you can do on VR. It really is just like being in a whole new world. But any company can go into Sansar and promote their product with the content creation. You create whatever you want to do, and you can do it. It's super simple to use. Also with the like live mic nights, anybody who wants to get used to public speaking, things like that, can go on there, create a virtual avatar, and you just get up. You can talk in front of anybody, talk to anybody. It gives you a good look at public speaking in general, and like gives you a good feeling for, oh, this isn't that hard to do. If I can do it here, I can do it there. It'll help a lot of people with crowd fight, that kind of thing going on. So I think that's a really big showcase to it. That, and it's just fun. It's a good time, enjoyable. Sansar makes its money, like most video game companies, unfortunately, with in-game purchases, which is how it goes. Pretty much any video game you play is going to have a multitude of online purchases you can make, for weapon skins to avatar skins, that kind of thing. Right now, Sansar really only has avatar accessories and avatar skins that you can wear. So I know one of the big ones right now, you can be a skeleton man because Halloween's around the corner. So it's always an option in a promotion they do. It's fairly cheap to buy the in-game currency, which are Sansar bucks. Not too bad. I mean, it's still $10 for basically any skin. You spend $10-$20 and you're gonna get your skin, but you have to spend that $10 or $20 and the next one comes out, and so on and so forth. I don't really think it affects user experience because most of the people who are using it currently, especially, have played video games more than likely for a good portion of the time. So they don't really have to worry about, it being a new concept to them. They've already seen it, and we've all had our problems with in-game purchases. We can see with EA earlier in the year had a huge issue with Star Wars Battlefront and their in-game purchases and causing many problems with that. So they make their money off that. Other than that, like I said, they're very small right now, so they're not making a ton of money off of it, but it does help, a little bit. The owner of the company seems to be, from all the interviews I've seen and through the few things he said, he seems very positive about it. He knows the company's got a good future going forward, so he's not too worried about the money, obviously, right now. So, on to what we're here for, the marketing benefits. The marketing benefits to this, to me, in this scenario, are huge. Any company can come in, create their own content, make a fun chat room, people can engage with each other, talk, hang out, whatever. You get to meet people you never would have met. I've met some of my closest friends online. That's just how it goes. But you do that and you attach your brand to it, advertise a few things, people are hanging out. Man, I really like this room. Oh, this is the company that puts it on. All of a sudden they buy some of your products because they see that name and it reminds them of a good time they had. So it's huge for companies like that. Right now, the big issue, I think, is that really just the gaming companies are going to take off because there's not much other than that. Not many people other than serious gamers are going to be using it right now. So the companies like Fnatic and Optic Gaming that allow you to come in and visit and watch their games, play on their virtual ping pong tables, and watch the live streams of professional games are bringing a good look at how professional video games are played and how it goes. So they're promoting their brand pretty well currently because they know the market they're trying to hit. Now, you get a company in there who is, say you get a headset company. Like I have Audio Technica. Say they decided to open a chat room, create a chat room based around their product. They could flash your product, talk about its uses, let them play music in the chat room to promote using their headset, have you try it at different sounds, how yours sounds versus how theirs sounds, that kind of situation. So there's a lot of different ways that could be used. Marketers should really get interested in social games because there's a lot of popularity in video games right now. I know we've all seen the Fortnite craze. It's insane. So many different people have used it. So many different companies have used the Fortnite stuff as promotion. So really getting into social games, I think, is a healthier way as well to do your marketing because obviously Fortnite has driven some people insane. But you get this virtual world where you can join in and you can be friends and you can talk to these people and make connections with people that are all over the world. You don't know. I've got friends in Florida. I've got friends in New Hampshire. I've got friends in Pennsylvania. It's all over the place. And you meet these people and you build friendships, stuff like that. And that's all based around a brand. So whatever brand puts that on gets a lot of recognition for creating some good times for people. So if you can manage to pull that off, you've got a huge opportunity to push your brand, push your ideas, push your values. It's a great way to get people interactive in your brand too. And as I say, you could do like a live event, so to say. So you do your live event. All these people come in, man, they really did awesome. That was a great time. Next thing you know, they're buying your products. Who, like I said earlier, when we talk about who Sensor is really looking at and targeting currently, is going to be your video game players a lot. Because it's not a very big company and VR is not a huge phenomenon around, like, publicly right now. So until they get that down and they break into that other market, video game players are really the only ones that are going to have your VR headsets. They're the ones who are going to use them religiously, play with them, have fun with them. It's just one of those things because they are expensive, and if you don't know what you're doing with them, you're just kind of confused. So I think that really that'll be the big kicker right now, is finding a way to break into that big market. But I think as the technology in VR shifts and there becomes a market for it where you get a little cheaper stuff, a little cheaper video game equipment for VR, we'll see a huge shift to where a lot of your media will be used online. And there's a possibility that companies like Amazon can get hooked up on there where you can order, real life items on there, pay with your currency on there, gets transferred over to, it's kind of like cryptocurrency. You pay with the currency on there and it gets sent to your house. And it's like, it's real life money. The company just pays out its portion to to Amazon, so to say. So I think it could open up a huge market for that kind of interaction with companies. Game-based marketing. So, game-based marketing itself, as far as playing games, obviously video game companies create their market by creating content for the game and by providing a good game to play. So I think with a company like Sansar, you can take a fantastic idea with a bunch of content creation. Like Twitter was fantastic for companies because companies can go on there, create content, put out funny tweets. Look at Wendy's. Wendy's has done amazing with their Twitter account. It's brought them a ton of popularity. So I believe you can do the same thing with this, except you create a chat room where people can interact with each other and have fun, like I said. So you go in and, I mean, you can create whatever you want, whatever kind of atmosphere you want. You want a coffee house atmosphere? You can create a coffee house. Like the live mic night, if you want to have like a TED Talk type thing, so to say, to talk about a brand, or, you know, and there's just so many ways to create content for these different things and have fun with it. Like carnival games put on by this company to promote this item. If you do this, you get 10% off, or, you know, there's so many opportunities. It's limitless, honestly, with what you can do with content creation. All right, so Sansar has not had a lot of marketing campaigns, so I think the big one they try to piggyback off of was Ready Player One. It didn't really work out great. There wasn't a huge spike in usership after it, just because I think a lot of people, like I said, it's expensive to do, so it's hard to manifest into something. I think the biggest failing campaign would be if they were like, oh, we promise we can do this with the VR. You go buy it, and then you go to do your content creation, you realize it's buggy, it's not been fine-tuned, and all of a sudden you're like, well, that's great. I wasted my money, and now I don't want to do this because it's all messed up, and it's so much effort. It's way harder than it should be. It's a big problem for a lot of companies. So, and I know a lot of video game companies in general that release games before they're fully done to try to make their money end up flopping. So it's never a good thing. Never a good thing. The risks involved with Sansar, I think, for a marketing company will mostly be the toxic, so to say, people on games. We've all heard of the 14-year-old or 15-year-old screaming slurs at people and getting all angry on video games, because it happens. It happens a decent bit. But I think all that takes is to get a heavy moderator presence. You can clear that out. So the risk is not crazy bad, but there still could be a slip up if you're not paying attention. You don't have the right people monitoring what you're doing on the company. So it does have its issues, but you've got to just be diligent about what you're doing. And if you want your content to be correct, you'll be doing that anyway. So it's not too much of a concern. Other kind of risks, I really don't see much of a risk. If your content doesn't go great, you can delete that chat room, start over, and try to figure out something that works, and it really doesn't hurt you. Because people are gonna, if the thing with games like this and with VR things like this, if people don't like a room when they join, they just leave. There's no negative to it. They don't talk about it. They just leave. They'll say, oh, that was kind of boring, and just back out and go to a new one, and then they're on to the next thing, and they don't think about it. So it's not a huge issue on that. I fully believe companies should be using programs and games like Sansar for their marketing, because it's like I say, with the content creation, it's a huge opportunity to push your product, create a fun environment for everybody to join in on, and you don't really have to worry about anything. You just moderate it, and that'll take care of most of it. Now the problem is, there's a huge opportunity to push esports right now, like I said, with Fnatic and Optic Gaming. Now, other than that, they've got to push into that market to be able to have anything worthwhile come out of it. And I think they will once the technology progresses. So any company in the world would be able to use this. Car companies can use it to showcase cars. You want, create a virtual image of the car to put in the game and see. So I think it's a huge opportunity for it. And that is Sansar in a nutshell. Thank you everybody for listening, and I'll try to answer all the questions that I get. Thank you.